Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me.
Could you maybe clarify what sort of clues we're supposed to be looking for here?
The world is full of obvious things which nobody by any chance ever observes.
Could you maybe clarify what sort of clues we're supposed to be looking for here?
That's not my problem. It's yours.
Hey guys, I'm in New York City just hanging out. Hey guys, I'm in New York City just hanging out.
That's not my problem. It's yours.
What do you think?
I think you're just getting started.
I don't know what you mean.
All right. I think you've got a secret. And it's something you won't tell anyone. Because you don't trust anyone.
I died for you, Allison. So you could use my funeral to escape them.
Figured out you're fisherman. Goes with the tide. You let it pull you out to sea, or guide you back in. Sometimes you have to move with it. Sometimes, honey, that's all we can do.
Now, if you keep your heads even, don't look up or down, you will see the world as a creature that lives in one dimension. Now, what do you see, Victoria?
Just a little bit of blurry green and some brown.
Imagine suddenly learning of a second dimension, of left and right. What do you see now, Victoria?
Greens and yellows and blues and browns.
Turn on the gramophone. It's time to enter the third dimension. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. Are beings that can only see 3 dimensions. We cannot see the 4th dimension because our mask, as it were, won't allow it. Perhaps we can manipulate it?
Hello. Let me give you an introduction to what you are about to watch. I have shown you things similar, even better, but this one I think it's more interesting. It's more an insight, raw footage. No music, no special effects, just what it is. There's not much action going on. It's just for you to give you a close-up look. A lot of times we're out on a mission, me and the Azazians, and for 10 hours, and there's only action for about 10 minutes. The rest is waiting. It's like 9 hours and 50 minutes of boredom, just watching, just waiting. Then 10 minutes of insanity. So it's not like 007 movies, It goes on for 30 minutes, the action. Usually it's not like that. A lot of waiting, a lot of boredom, but you have to be awake and sharp. Today, you're gonna see that kind of reality that the Azazians and I have. But it'll be interesting, don't worry. There's a few interesting things for you to see, to look at. Now, for years now, I've shown you what is going on in the streets. The Vlash and Met hybrids, controlling parts of cities, parts of towns, parts of villages, against the Caricious hybrids. Either I'm there or not, Azazians are everywhere, and Caricious hybrids who serving the cause are everywhere, But, and I've shown this, you should know by now, but there's always new people coming in, and some people forget, and sometimes it's good to refresh your memory. What we do in all the cities around the world, all of them, and we've been doing this for a few thousand years, even before there were cities. Imagine, for you to understand, the mafia wars, like it happened in Italy and in America. You have family A, a mafia family A, and a mafia family B. And each one of them, they control certain areas of the city. Until, one of those families decided they want more territory. More territory, more money, right? There'll be casinos, racketeering, all kinds of stuff can happen. Control over businesses, And then one of the families starts trying to push the other family out of their own territory. A few things can happen. They can win that territory, and then the other family might strike back, or they are in a weak spot and they don't have the strength to fight back, and so they lose the territory, or a bloody war starts, killing each other, and eventually, or not, they might have meetings and can get an arrangement. Okay, you keep this if you give me that, trying to make peace. But usually peace comes after a war. Same thing it's been happening forever amongst Vlach and Metr hybrids and the Caristus hybrids, fighting over territory in cities, everywhere. And that's one of the things I do. Not the only one, but one of the things I do. I've done it in many places in the world. I was sent to, there are cities that are so overwhelmed, so 80-90% controlled by Vlach and Metr hybrids, just like mafia families. Some cities are controlled by a lot by Vlach Metr hybrids, and I am sent there to change things. I haven't done that many times in my life. I've only had power of decision when I was 27. Even though, as you know, I joined the cause when I was 13, when Mikhail and the course came, when I was 13. And then for the next 14 years, I was in a learning process, which including me going to the special forces and many other things. And I wasn't only on the special forces. I've learned many things: how to fly a plane, helicopter. I've built bridges. Yes, I built. I know how to build runways, airplane runways, but I don't know how to go there with a shovel or a machine and do. But I know what I tell them what to do. I built bridges. I'm an expert on soils mechanics, so I know if you want to build a bridge here, depending on the soil, what kind of tests you have to do, what depending on the topography and the geology and everything. I've done all kinds of stuff. I've ridden, I've learned how to have the big rigs, 16 wheelers, you name it, I've done it. The only thing I don't know is how to drive a hovercraft, the ones that go just above the water or the dirt, the watercraft. That I've not done. I don't know yet, but I will. Maybe, not sure. Maybe I don't have the time. But from since I was 13 until I was 27, I was pretty much learning a lot, and I was in some situations of I was sent to a city to gain control over the city, or at least as much as possible. But I was not in charge. Gabriel was in charge a couple of times, and other people. Even Azasians were in charge of the operation, and I was the leader of the Azasians. 22, 23, I was the leader of the Azasians, but I was not in charge of the operations. That was not let me, even though I was the leader, because I didn't have the experience. I did not have the experience. So Azasians that been Azasians for a long time, 20, 30, 40 years, they were in charge, and I was learning from them. It takes a little bit of humbleness, but if you're not humble enough, you're not going to learn anything. You have to know your place, you're number one, but be humble because you don't know as much in certain things as a number two or number three. But I was involved in different places like Casablanca, some places in Spain, and other places. Only when I was 27, I was sent by the cause to take over territory of a couple of places, and I was successful. Give or take some disappointments, but I was successful. Now, I've done this, like I said, in many different places. The three most important places, one I even showed, was in Berlin, when I arrived there in 2015, 6 years ago, and the place was a disaster. Vlach and Metr hybrids controlled most of the city, and then a couple of years later, things changed. I showed that, but maybe some of you didn't remember or didn't see it. Let me show you. So that's what I did in Berlin. Within 2 years, I turned the city around. And I got a lot of pats on the back over that. Right now it's a little bit worse, but not too bad since I left. Well, like I was saying, there's 3 main places that I achieved big success. Because I was in many other places, but Berlin was the most important one, by far. That was very important, and I got there just at the right time to do something about it, to turn the tide around. Another one was in Marseille, in the south of France. That I did in 1999 and 2000. That was very important, and it was even harder than Berlin. It was even harder when it comes to losing lives and so on.
À Marseille, une scène d'une rare violence a donc surpris les habitants d'un quartier en fin d'après-midi. En plein jour, un commando cagoulé et lourdement armé a fait irruption, tiré avec des kalachnikovs et défié les policiers arrivés sur place. Les images et les faits avec Ambroise Boulaïs et Alexandre Lépiné.
Les coups de feu claquent dans la cité. Il est à peine 17h hier quand un commando d'une dizaine d'assaillants encagoulés investit le quartier de la Busserine au nord de Marseille. Avec 3 ou 4 voitures, ils bloquent les rues, puis tirent en l'air avec des fusils d'assaut. Certains habitants filment la scène par leurs fenêtres.
Je suis choquée là.
La scène dure environ 5 minutes avant que les véhicules ne prennent la fuite. Les habitants sont sous le choc.
But strategically, for the cause, was not as important as Berlin. When this happened, I was not there at the Christmas market. This Christmas market is like 5 minutes from my house in Berlin. I was there the night before at the exact spot, not 20 meters to the left or to the right, the exact spot where the truck came and killed all those people. I was there at that time, eating and stuff with my wife the night before, and I was planning on going there that night, but I don't remember why we didn't go, but at the exact spot. So I know a little bit more about this story, but it's a long story and there's certain things I cannot talk about. But I was there the night before, and I was there 20 minutes after it happened, because 5 minutes from there. There is a story behind it, okay? Berlin, Marseille. The third one is where I live now. The third one, most important, and I turned the tide around. I'm going to show you amateurish scheme just for you to have an idea. You're going to see white rectangle. Imagine that is the city where I live now, the white rectangle. Then you see the red areas. When I arrived, that's what Vlach and Met controlled. That's what Vlach and Met controlled, the red areas, which was 90% or more. And then you'll see, turning into white, are the areas that we now control. Are the areas that we now control. So we pushed them into a corner in the last 4 years. Yes, we pushed them to a corner, to the edge of town. All the way to the edge of town, except for that little red corner. That little red corner is right downtown. It's right downtown. The most touristic area. Also the place where there are more, striptease joints. A lot of drugs are dealt there. All kinds of interests. That little red corner, where they're still strong. By the way, this is not made for to scale. It's just to give you an idea. But that little red corner, it's like 2 city blocks downtown. They're still there. Why haven't we been able to kick them out of there? Well, it's complicated. That area is not only controlled by Vlach and Met hybrids, because all the mafias that you can imagine are here. That area is very important to all the mafias. We have them: Uzbekistani mafia, Kazakhstani mafia, Armenian mafia, Georgian mafia. They're all there. Russian mafia, Ukrainian mafia, they're all there. Even Irish mafia are there. They're all there. So it's a bit more complicated to kick them out, because before we started pushing them to the edge of town, they already had dealings with these mafias, the Vlach and Met hybrids. They had dealings with them, financial dealings and territorial dealings. So now, when we came in and started kicking them out, and we were able to do it most of the place, but that place is very important. Even the Germans, and I'm not talking about the German mafia, I'm talking about the German consulate, German embassy. They have an interest that that area is controlled by the mafias. Yes, I'm talking about the German government, not German mafia. This is way more complicated than you think. Not only here, but in other countries. There are states, heads of states, ambassadors, diplomats from Germany and other places, and France, and you name it. They are interested that certain areas of a certain city are controlled by mafias. This has to do with gun dealing, weapons dealings, and a lot more things. You think it's just mafia? Yeah, it's mafia. They sell some drugs and some prostitution, gambling. No. The heads of states of many of the European countries are involved in dealings with mafias. That's how they, send weapons to Africa or Afghanistan or this or that, without having the government, for example, of Germany involved in sending the weapons to wherever they want to cause trouble in the world. They use the mafias. They don't use, the ambassador or the foreign minister or whomever. They use the mafias to do their dirty work. And so they cannot have the mafias disappearing, because the mafias work for the head for many indirectly. Not, I mean, directly, but not officially. They work for these many countries, America, you name it, Russia, China, everywhere. Mafias are what they call a necessary evil. Otherwise, they'll have to do it themselves. This way, they use the mafia. So they don't want mafia to disappear. No, they make the appearance. No, they put out the appearance that they're fighting the mafia and that, but they don't. Otherwise, the mafia would have been, all the mafias in the world have been defeated a long time ago, and they disappeared. Because all the countries know who they are, how they act, their names, their bank accounts. It would be very easy to defeat all the mafias in the world. Chinese, Russian, Ukrainian, Uzbekistan, American, Italian. It would be very easy. Everybody know they are. Every country with a good, secret service and all that stuff. They know they are. They don't kill them. They don't put them to jail. They don't destroy them because they don't want. They are necessary because the mafias, they do the dirty work that the countries don't want to be seen as doing. So this is why we're having a hard time getting rid of the Vlach and Metriber in the center of this city, because we have higher powers fighting. But we'll see. I have also plan A, B, and C, D, E. We'll see. Even sometimes my side says, the court says, no, don't do it. Why? Because of this and this and that. If you do this and this and that, then in a year or 2 years or 10 years, it's going to hurt us. So just let it slide. Don't interfere. Even though I can cut off the head of one of the snakes, I see the snake and it's right in front of me. I can cut off that head. But the court tells me, no, don't do it. Be okay right now for us, but in 10 years, this is what would happen. Connect the dots in front of me. Okay. So I know, swallow my pride and you have to do what I'm told. It's more complicated than you think.